Chosen ones. Listen closely, for the frequency of unproductive struggle has been officially liquidated. Today is the day yesterday's shifts reveal their primary objective: the total conversion of your resistance into fuel. You were never designed to remain in a state of static potential. If this transmission has reached you, it confirms your status as an active participant in this cycle rather than a passive observer. Yesterday's alignments are now showing their hand, and the defining force is the Venus-Saturn protocol. It is taking the negative energy you've archived, the weight, the tension, and the structural resistance, and transforming it into a positive directional force. In this window, the universe is not removing your obstacles. It is repurposing them. The setbacks of the previous weeks are being converted into the momentum required for your next major pivot. The heavy sense of duty or limitation you've carried is now being refined into a sharp sense of purpose. The mental fog has been condensed into a singular, actionable truth. The experiences you categorized as unpleasant or failures are now manifesting as the specific power-ups needed to navigate the current timeline. You are in a significantly stronger position than your previous self could perceive. The energy is no longer working against you. It has been force-aligned with your sovereign favor. Today is a peak period for setting intentions. Because the grid is currently biased toward materialization and structural growth, your thoughts carry more weight in the field than usual. The factors that once acted as anchors are now functioning as your propulsion system. Locate the specific tension you felt last week and relabel it as energy for movement. Use this clarity to define your objective for the remainder of March. Acknowledge the subtle, persistent push you are feeling toward a new action. This is the universe authorizing your forward motion. The conversion is complete. The pressure that was meant to break the obsolete version of you has successfully forged the current version. You are no longer surviving the storm. You are the one utilizing its velocity to reach your next destination. Chosen ones. Listen with the absolute steel of your soul, for we have reached the most dangerous coordinate of the shift, the trap of the receding tide. Today, March 10th, 2026, a specific temptation is manifesting in your field. It is the urge to return to the old emotional story. Now that the light has been turned on, your mind is beginning to bargain with the shadows. You are hearing the whispers of the Matrix. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought. Maybe I should just ignore this feeling and stay where it's safe. The final proof. Hear me clearly. When clarity arrives in the wake of a Venus-Saturn alignment, it is not a passing mood or a random glitch in your processing. It is a divine signal that a specific cycle in your life has reached its natural conclusion. The realization you had yesterday or early this morning was not the beginning of doubt. It was the final proof. Saturn has brought the closure. Venus has revealed exactly what your heart was avoiding. Together, they have dismantled the illusions you have officially outgrown. The mistake is never seeing the truth too clearly. The only mistake you can make today is trying to shrink yourself back into the version of you that tolerated the lack, the lies, or the stagnation. Your growth does not ask for permission. It demands alignment. The mind clings to the familiar because it fears the void, but the soul never does. Today, your soul is shouting louder than your comfort zone, and it is telling you that there is no rewind button on this timeline. Do not justify what you have already outgrown. Do not build a bridge back to a burning house. Treat your current clarity as the sacred outcome of a long, internal evolution that has finally broken the surface. The alignment is active. Like this transmission right now, to signal to the universe that you refuse to shrink back into the old version of yourself. Subscribe and turn on the bell. In these hours following the Saturnian closure, the old stories will try to reattach. This frequency is your shield. In the comments below, type "No rewind" to lock your energy into the forward motion. Declare one old narrative you are officially leaving behind today. If this channel has helped you stand firm when your mind tried to bargain with the past, you can support me with a cup of coffee, because every seed you release becomes a river that reaches souls you may never meet. The donation link is waiting for you in the description, pinned in the comments and shown as a QR code in this video. Your support is a powerful energetic signature confirming your seat in the new, higher frequency reality. The familiar is a cage. The truth is your key. Walk forward, chosen one. The door behind you has already vanished. Do not be startled if today arrives wrapped in a hauntingly beautiful ache of nostalgia, pulling at threads of your story you thought were long since tucked away. You may find yourself visited by unbidden flashes of your younger self, the specific scent of a childhood classroom, a scrap of conversation from a decade ago, or even those jagged, uncomfortable memories you usually keep locked behind heavy doors. Understand that these ghosts are not returning because you are regressing or because something is broken within your psyche. They are surfacing because the stern structural energy of Saturn has met with the velvet grace of Venus, creating a celestial key that is currently turning in the lock of your deepest layers. This rare conjunction is meticulously dredging up old narratives, not to punish you with their weight, but to perform a sacred rescue mission for the parts of your soul that remained trapped in those moments. Some of these recollections will carry a heavy tectonic pressure. Others will feel like strange, poetic whispers. And some will pass through you with a clinical coldness, devoid of any emotional charge. That lack of reaction is your greatest victory. It is the proof that you are no longer reliving the past, but finally, irrevocably releasing it. What you are experiencing today is a profound inner calibration. Venus is highlighting the experiences that textured your heart, while Saturn is mapping the trials that forged your backbone. Together, they are showing you the exact architecture of the person you have become. These temporal echoes are not setbacks. They are the final clearance before a massive internal breakthrough. Your memory is only circling back to hand you the wisdom you were too overwhelmed to claim the first time around. If these scenes play across your mind like an old film, do not overthink the plot. Your system is simply closing ancient loops, deleting outdated interpretations of your worth, and hollowing out space for a magnificent new chapter that you have finally grown into. Today's flashbacks aren't dragging you into the rearview mirror. They are lightening your load so you can sprint toward the horizon without the baggage of who you used to be. There is a subtle, almost invisible pattern that governs the universe, one that is rarely discussed in our loud, chaotic world. Yet this pattern manifests with surgical precision every single time a soul is perched on the precipice of a life-altering transformation. It does not announce itself with the roar of a lion or a theatrical sign in the heavens. Instead, it arrives through the quiet, impeccable artistry of timing. You begin to notice moments that feel far too synchronized to be mere accidents. Yet, they remain subtle enough that the distracted masses will dismiss them as coincidence. It is that uncanny second when you overhear a stranger in a crowded cafe utter the exact sentence you needed to resolve a mental deadlock. It is that moment you scroll past a random passage that provides the missing piece to a puzzle you have been struggling with for weeks. It is the unexpected phone call or the chance encounter that completely recalibrates your perspective on a situation you thought was hopeless. On the surface, these events look mundane, but for those truly ready to evolve, the timing becomes suspiciously, beautifully precise. Awakened souls recognize this rhythm because they have stopped sleepwalking through their existence. They have tuned their ears to the low-frequency hum of life's inner workings. They can sense the gears of reality shifting into alignment, even when they cannot rationally explain why. Their intuition is a sharpened blade, catching the delicate cues that others ignore because they are waiting for a miracle that screams. This leads to a sobering realization. How many pivotal turning points have been lost to the fog of inattention? How many life-changing opportunities slip through a person's fingers simply because they weren't present enough to see that the universe was trying to move them? This is the phenomenon unfolding around March 9th. The energy isn't forcing a path, it is synchronizing the world to meet you. It is creating a series of gentle nudges. And if you're noticing them, it is a definitive sign that your internal frequency is already matching the reality of what is coming next. Life doesn't need to shout when it is changing your destiny. It simply aligns the pieces with such quiet perfection that only the truly awake can witness the masterpiece. One of the most striking things an attuned person will notice today is that reality is suddenly catching up to the whispers of their mind. Think back to the fleeting ideas or strange premonitions you had earlier this week. Perhaps a sudden impulse to change direction, a quiet realization about a relationship, or a feeling that a specific door was about to open. At the time, you likely brushed them off as mere imagination. But now, as March 9th unfolds, the physical world is beginning to mirror those internal flashes. This has nothing to do with manifestation cliches or magical thinking. It is far more grounded and powerful. As the Venus-Saturn alignment scrubs away the mental static and emotional clutter, your thoughts naturally align with the highest possible trajectory for your life. Your mind begins to reflect the direction in which you are already organically moving, rather than being stuck in the loops of fear and doubt that used to dictate your internal monologue. When certain ideas start materializing in your daily life, through a specific conversation, a sudden insight, or a new opportunity, it isn't a fluke, it is a signal that your conscious awareness is finally vibrating in total harmony with your destiny. Most people will walk right past these bridges because they are tethered to their routines. Awakened souls, however, feel the shift instantly because it feels as though their inner and outer worlds have finally learned to speak the same language. Today serves as a liminal space, a bridge between the unseen world of your intuition and the tangible world of your results. It is a day that validates your gut feelings, proving that your intuition was never a random impulse. It was a preview of your future. Your spirit is often several steps ahead of your physical reality, and today is the day the world finally lets you catch up to what you already knew in your bones. The reason most people miss these profound windows of opportunity is simple. They are addicted to the idea that change must be loud. They expect their breakthroughs to arrive with the fanfare of fireworks, through dramatic crises, massive external signs, or chaotic emotional breakdowns that force them to look up. Because they are waiting for the explosion, they completely overlook the quiet shifts that actually alter the course of a lifetime. They ignore the moments when nothing seems different on the outside, yet something deep within is undergoing a tectonic rearrangement. March 9th is precisely that kind of quiet, powerful moment. To the millions of people living on autopilot, today will seem utterly plain, perhaps even boring. They will drift through these hours unaware that clarity and direction are shimmering just beneath the surface, waiting to be claimed. They wait for circumstances to change so they can feel different, never realizing that the real turning point is the shift in perception that precedes the change in circumstances. Awakened souls understand that every major breakthrough is born in the silence of the internal world, long before it takes form in the physical realm. Where others see a void, the awakened feel a subtle, productive pressure, a sense that they are finally finished arguing with the truths they have known for years. This is the ultimate key. March 9th is the day the internal war ends. It is the day you stop debating your own worth and stop denying what you have seen clearly in your quietest moments. Denial loses its grip today. While the world waits for clarity to scream, those who are ready will hear it as a whisper. The moment you stop resisting your own truth is the exact moment the universe begins to align in your favor. There is a magnificent, rarely discussed rhythm to human growth. The most transformative moments are almost never the events themselves, but the silence that follows. It is the moment after the noise dies down, when the mind finally has the expansive space it needs to digest what has occurred. We have all experienced those conversations that seemed ordinary in the heat of the moment, only to have the true meaning hit us like a tidal wave the following morning. We have all navigated situations that only made sense once the emotional dust had settled and the heart had room to breathe. Insight doesn't usually arrive during the peak of intensity. It arrives in the stillness of the aftermath. The day after is where the real honesty lives, and cosmic alignments follow this same logic. Yesterday's meeting between Venus and Saturn may have planted a seed, nudged a dormant question, or forced you to look at a truth you weren't quite ready to touch. Today is when the blossoms appear. The answers are surfacing now, not as an explosion, but as a steady, inevitable sharpening of focus, like a lens finally clicking into place. If you are awake to this process, you will feel your priorities shifting by degrees. Situations you have tolerated for years may suddenly feel impossible to endure another second. This clarity isn't dramatic, but it is undeniable, and it changes the trajectory of every choice you will make from this point forward. The celestial event opened the door, but today is the day you decide if you are brave enough to walk through it. If these words have found their way to you today, consider that the significance doesn't lie in the stars, the date, or the ancient symbolism of the planets. The significance is in you. It is in the fact that you were present enough to pause, conscious enough to question, and honest enough to admit that something inside you is shifting in ways you cannot yet put into words. Not every sign is a lightning bolt. Often, the most vital messages arrive as a quiet inner nudge that becomes too persistent to ignore. We often assume the universe speaks in a foreign, mystical language, but the truth is, it speaks most clearly when you are finally quiet enough to hear your own soul. Whatever you are noticing today, a fleeting thought, a sudden realization, or a newfound sense of readiness, is the conversation you have been waiting for. It is subtle, but it is the most real thing you possess. Awareness is the message. This moment isn't a cosmic coincidence. It is a mirror reflecting your own evolution. It is a reminder that the most important chapters of our lives often begin without a title page. They are hidden inside ordinary conversations and random videos that appear at the exact second your perspective is ready to shift. Life doesn't always announce the new beginning. Sometimes it just hands you a feeling that refuses to leave. March 9th could have been just another square on the calendar, but something pulled you here to witness the unfolding of your own internal landscape. It wasn't destiny or fate. It was your own readiness finally becoming visible. It was your intuition stepping out of the shadows to remind you that you are finished living at a level you have already outgrown. The most extraordinary moments of your life will never look extraordinary to the world. They become extraordinary the second you decide to grow from them. If this message reached you, it isn't a call to watch the sky, but a call to watch the movement within. Give yourself the grace to breathe into this clarity. You don't have to rush the process or decode every emotion. Just stay open, stay aware, and stay honest with yourself. The rest of your story is unfolding at the exact pace it was meant to, and you are far more prepared for this next chapter than you ever imagined.